Daten zeigen, Millennials gefällt die Farbe nicht. Und wir brauchen einen Hashtag. 9, 8, 7. Was? Search-Daten belegen, Mars ist nicht mehr trending. Sie sollen Kurs nehmen auf Pluto.
Pluto?
Pluto? Minute, bist du gewachsen oder nicht?
4, 3, 2, 1. Was ist passiert?
Sorry, Leute. Die haben ihr Budget verbraten. Wir müssen den Start auf Q4 verschieben.
Ist doch nicht wahr.
Tire pressure, 1.9 rear. You're doing good. One lap to go. So what's going on? There is another car on the track. Who is the driver? We found a great competitor for you. Yeah, but who is the driver? It's driven by Vorsprung durch Technik.
One minute remaining.
Willkommen zurück. Ich hoffe, es gab genug zu essen für alle. Ihr habt jetzt einen richtig vollen Bauch und könnt euch jetzt so richtig hier die nächsten Stunden auf diesen gemütlichen Sesseln, die wir da vorne am Rande haben, es bequem machen. Also, wir haben jetzt noch einen Nachmittag voll richtig gutes Programm. Bevor wir gleich zum nächsten langen Inhalt kommen oder längerem Inhalt kommen, haben wir natürlich jetzt auch eine Nachmittagsschicht an der Bar mitbekommen. Die Vormittagsschicht ist schon abgerückt. Ich kann übrigens Entwarnung geben, der Kollege Heidemann ist zwar unterwegs nach Berlin, aber da ist nichts Dramatisches passiert. Also das ist alles okay, aber trotzdem, der Sohn muss wohl eine Weile im Krankenhaus bleiben und naja, nicht schön. So, ich fange mal an und stelle mal die Leute vor, die jetzt in der Nachmittagsschicht an der Bar sitzen. Fangen wir mal an mit jemandem, den ihr alle kennt, die uns regelmäßig das ganze Jahr über sozusagen folgen. Seit einem halben Jahr machen wir einen Podcast, einen Online Marketing Rockstars Podcast, kann man beim Joggen hören, beim Fliegen, beim Bahnfahren, beim Bügeln, im Fitnessstudio, beim Joggen. Und die Podcasts haben so 3.000 bis 4.000 Hörer. Podcast ist überhaupt ein Medium, das ich nur wirklich extrem empfehlen kann. Wir sind allerdings mit 3.000 bis 4.000 Hörern sogar schon auf Position 30 oder 40 bei den deutschen iTunes-Charts. Das ist auch kein so richtig gutes Zeichen für den Markt. Aber ihr findet uns dort und wer Bock hat auf Rockstars, auf gute Gespräche. Und einer, den haben wir jeden Monat und da sagen wir regelmäßig aus der Branche, okay, der Typ ist krass, von dem kann ich mir jede Woche einen Podcast eigentlich anhören. Der ist wirklich der am meisten mitdenkt, der die krassen Analysen hat, der sich kein Blatt vor den Mund nimmt. Er kommt eigentlich aus dem VC-Bereich, hat lange für Excel Partners gearbeitet und ist ein wirklich scharfer Branchenanalyst. Hier ist unser regelmäßiger Podcast-Gast Sven Schmidt. So, und wir wollten natürlich auch jemanden dabei haben, der sozusagen die Medien schon eine ganze Weile länger macht als ich. Ich glaube, das Medium, für das er arbeitet, gibt es schon deutlich länger als mich wahrscheinlich. Ich schätze ihn sehr als Ansprechpartner, einen klassischen Branchenmedium, wir tauschen uns regelmäßig aus. Ich freue mich, dass er da ist. Hier ist von Horizont der Chefredakteur Volker Schütz. So, und dann haben wir nochmal aus einem Umfeld, das in den Medien relativ wenig Beachtung bekommt, weil die Kollegen einfach so schweigsam sind. Wir sitzen hier in Hamburg, aber man hört immer so wenig. Vor kurzem saß ich mit dem Kollegen, der jetzt gleich reinkommt, beim Lunch und dachte mir, krass, was die alles machen. Die gehen ja richtig international ab, da passiert eine ganze Menge. Und trotzdem, man kriegt so wenig mit, deswegen habe ich mich gefreut, als er Bock hat, hier in der Bar zu sitzen. Hier ist aus dem Hause Bauer von Bauer Excel Media, Markus Hüßmann. So, dann ist hier jemand ohne Hörplattform. Hier ist Angie.
Only English, that's the problem with Americans, we only speak one language. But I wanted to talk to you about the shade room. It was something that happened on accident. So what happened was I was working as an accountant at a motorcycle shop, and I knew I wanted to be a writer, and I knew that, you know, accounting just wasn't for me.
In general. And so I started about 8 years ago a company called Outbrain, and we'll talk about it next. So to start in terms of background, here's a chart of this Nielsen numbers about what we do online. And obviously there's a lot of time that goes into, people spend a lot on search, about a fifth of their time, and about a quarter of the time goes into social, obviously. But if you look at content consumption, reading content and watching video and music, that's about a third of the time spent by people. And it's interesting because we focus, in terms of marketing, a lot of our attention on search, while spending less time in where people are discovering content. I like to think about those two sides of the world as search. You know what you're looking for, you have a keyword for it. It's sort of like the yellow pages. Whereas with content, you don't necessarily know what you're looking for. You don't know what the interesting news of the day is going to be. You couldn't express it in a keyword. And that's the world of content discovery, where people are flipping through and discovering what to consume next, what to read next, or what to watch next. So that area is about a third of what people do online, and I think it's a very important area as we look forward in online marketing. In terms of Outbrain, this is the only marketing slide. So what we do is content recommendations. You see us on some of the best publishers in the world. So places like CNN and Time Inc. and Condé Nast. We power all the content recommendations on their desktop, on their mobile apps, mobile web, video, etc., everything they publish. Here in Germany, we power the content recommendations on BILD and Chip and Focus Online, Handelsblatt, Huffington Post, N24, Sport One, etc. So we're really the leader in terms of recommending content. And if any of you have been on the web, I'm pretty sure you've been Outbrain users. So people on these publishers, we reach over 500 million people, and people search or discover over 1 billion pieces of content with us every month. The scale is just tremendous. So in terms of reaching a huge audience of engaged readers, this is probably the best platform in the world. Now, there's a lot of pain that's going through the world of content and where people discover it and how they reach it. You know, a lot has changed from the old homepages of publishers to people discovering it on social networks. But what we've seen all along the way is that the consumption of content is just keeps going up and up and up. People consume more and more content. They go, you know, they now take the effort to share and like and do all these things. They even take the effort to install software to block the ads that they're annoyed by. So content consumption is as strong as it's ever been. The way I think about this in terms of brands or what marketers should be doing is it's the perfect platform for telling your story. And to me, in a simplistic view, you're either a product and then there's no story behind your product, or you're a brand. And the difference is really the brand is a story, and there's no better way to tell people a story versus where they're consuming content and consuming stories. So I want to give a few examples of brands and stories they tell. I'll start with this, with Gillette. My voice. So a lot of people think about content marketing as something that's only fit for Apple, Tesla, and brands like that, which are high-end luxury brands that can tell a story. And Apple is an amazing example of content marketing. Right? Every few months, we all sit for an hour or two of content marketing and let them tell us all their stories. But I think, again, if you're a brand, even if it's a daily brand, a consumer good brand, if there's a story behind it, there's content marketing to be made. So a few examples that I particularly love that have been doing content marketing with us. First one is Gillette, and I like bucketing the content marketing efforts into a few types. This is my personal favorite, which is, I call that category the how it's made category. So not many of us think about how razors are made, but there's actually a lot that goes into the engineering and the science of making blades. And what most people, at least in the US, thought Gillette found was that the razors are probably all manufactured in China and they're all commodity, and they had a lot of competition from Chinese manufacturers. What they did is a series of content marketing where they went into their factory. All Gillette, by the way, is manufactured in their factory in Boston, and it's for over 100 years. And they went and interviewed the best experts that you have on razors. Again, they've been doing this for 100 years. So all the engineers and the scientists and the people in the production line that have been doing the best razors in the world.
How's everyone doing? So today, I'm going to teach you guys 7 different tactics that you can implement to grow your business. Whether you work for someone else, or you have your own website, or your own blog, I'm going to break down 7 tactics that you can leverage. It doesn't matter if you have an e-commerce site, a consulting business, a software or subscription company. These tactics are applicable. Let's get started. Here's my Twitter handle. Tactic number 1, flip around your funnel. Most website funnels are wrong, in which they're the opposite. So let's say I meet a random stranger, and I ask them, will you marry me? For example, there's a lovely lady sitting here. If I said, will you marry me? Your answer? No? Why not? Oh, so sad. But that's obvious. If she said yes, what would be wrong? She would be crazy, right? We would get divorced. Is there divorce in Germany? Is that what you guys call it? On the other hand, if I asked her out on a date, and she said yes, and then we got to know each other for a few years. We did dinner dates, eventually we moved in together, I met her parents, she met mine, and then I asked her to marry me. Is there a better chance that she'll say yes? Of course. Why? Because she got to know me. People are the same way, in which, once they get to know you and your website, they're much more likely to convert. Here's how a normal funnel looks. Someone visits your website, they sign up, they pay. And that's great, but what's wrong with it? The majority of the people won't convert. Reason being is, you're asking them to sign up, pay, and spend money with you right away. I had this site, and I said, you know what would be funny? Is if we actually flip the funnel around, in which someone goes to the website, they put in a URL, they start using the application, and then we ask them to sign up. By doing this, they're getting to know the product, they're getting to know the service, they're getting a taste of it. Sure, they may not have full functionality, but after they sign up, they can, and they've already tested if the water's out. Can you guess what happened to signups when we flipped around the funnel versus asking them to sign up first? What do you think happened? More signups by over 52%. If you get people to test out your product or service, and then you ask them to sign up, and once you learn all of that, I say, you think this is awesome? This is just skimming the surface. This is what I give away for free. Just imagine what you would get if you spent money. Right? Just imagine. You won't know until you pay. And I tell people about the product or service and the problems it'll solve for you, but how you have to pay. And then I give a discount if you buy on right then and there on the webinar. And the product I'm selling is $1,000. It's so effective that I'm getting at least 10 sales a day. That's a lot of sales. And I'm doing it all through a software called Webinar Jam. And you can do the same thing. But before you tell people to buy, you gotta educate first. Then, once you educate, you gotta tell them about your paid product. And then you say, oh, at this point you're probably wondering how much it's gonna cost. Now before you get into how much it's gonna cost, tell them the benefits of the paid product, any bonus material they'll get, and then talk about how if they sign up on the webinar, it'll be cheaper. And if you do that, you should convert at least 4 or 5 out of every webinar attendee. That's huge. It works. Try it out. Now you don't have to buy my product, but if you actually do sign up for the webinar, you can leave after the 30-40 minute mark, but you'll see how I do it and copy it. You can take my pitch, whatever you want, and replicate it. It works. Tactic number 7, reviews. How many of you would love to have people say really good things about you on the internet?
Ja, hallo Hamburg. Schön zu Hause zu sein, krasse Kulisse. Ich habe eben hinter der Bühne 2 Schulfreunde getroffen. Die letzte Veranstaltung, auf die ich mit denen war 1998, so ein Funky Bussi, eine Marx-Party. Das war auch schon krass, aber das hier ist wirklich spektakulär. Wir freuen uns sehr, hier sein zu dürfen.